What's up, guys? So we have a little bit of news, right? So there hasn't been much to talk about, but uh, recently, Motorsport Games has revealed Matt Tift being scanned, or at least his face being scanned, as you could see in this picture here. They also showed a reporter. I don't really recognize who she was. I couldn't find that picture. I was looking for it, but they're scanning their faces, right? And as you could see here, there are multiple cameras, all right? This looks like it's going to be for animation. I mean, I'm just guessing, but you don't need all of this equipment for a simple photo. So what I'm hoping, right, and this is just speculation, is that this is going to be part of the game. So I'm hoping this is really for presentation. I don't know. It could be off track stuff, pre race, post race, or they showed the reporter, and maybe you have animation sequences with reporters on the sidelines, or not sidelines, but in the pits, whatever, right? There's a lot you can do. I don't see motorsport games going through all of this for nothing. So it's pretty clear to me this is going to be something that's part of the game. So I like that. It does get me somewhat excited without getting carried away. But I like this because it's more proof, or it shows more that motorsport games is not just some small developer. These guys are spending money. And we haven't had that in a long time. You know, we went through 5 years of 704, and before that, 5 years of Eutechnics, small time developers, not a big budget, and we've had to settle for whatever they've given us. And, you know, this, I'm only judging what we know so far, which isn't a lot. I'll be the first to admit. But what little is there, it speaks a lot. And I've talked in the past about the decisions made by these developers. I like the decisions these guys are making so far. Purchasing Studio 397, who makes the R Factor 2 games, is a huge move. It's a big deal. And even the most pessimistic person, you got to get at least a little bit excited about that. Motorsport games themselves have talked at length about the direction they want this to go, and they're talking a lot about wanting people to take this more serious. They don't want this to look like some arcade game. It's gonna be, it's gonna have you're gonna have the ability to be able to tune it like down for just average gamers, which is great. But I love that they're going in a more serious direction. Now, at the end, we're going to have to see for ourselves what the final result is. We've been burned in the past. I get it. But judging them only right now on what little we know, the decisions they've made so far, I'm on board. They went out and got the best possible studio or developer that they could have gotten, and they spent a lot of money to do it. These guys aren't fucking around, and their actions speak louder than words, and they're actually doing things. Um, this scanning here, this stuff, I know it doesn't seem like a big deal, but if you're part of this NASCAR community, you know how low budget these games have been. And we haven't had this kind of thing. This is what you see in bigger titles, or like the NBA 2K franchise, Madden football. As bad as Madden has become, I mean, I'm just talking about the budget, and there are certain big budget things that they've done. This is something that you expect in a AAA title. So I love seeing this, and this has to be something that plays somewhat into the presentation of the game. I'm not saying to expect, something amazing, but anything's better than what we've gotten recently. And the NASCAR Heat games, man, let me tell you, I don't want to see any more live action cutscenes with video of drivers talking to me. It just highlights how low budget those games are, and it's just didn't work, and it really takes you out of the immersion of the game. Everything in the game should be animated, everything, so that you never break that immersion. So this is good stuff. As I said, they scanned a reporter. I forgot what her name was, but why would you be scanning a reporter unless you're going to put her in the game somewhere? I don't think they're using all this equipment just to plaster their face and use text messaging. I don't want to see that stuff anymore. And it does look like they are going all in. They're spending big money. This is all good news, guys. So again, I'm not getting carried away. I'm only judging what I see now. There's a lot we don't know. We don't know what this career mode's going to be like. There's no details on that. We're getting little snippets of information right now. At some point, I'm sure they will reveal more information. It is still early. The game's been in development for 2 years, which is another big surprise. I really love hearing that because I was under the assumption that they were kind of rushing the game, and knowing that they've already been working on it for 2 years. Now, that could mean a lot of things. They could have, working on a game, it could just be planning stage stuff for 6 fucking months. You could just be planning shit. So I don't know at, serious development work, but I have to take their word for it. They've been working on the game for 2 years. That's not bad. So I feel better about what this game could be. Again, not getting carried away, but that's a big deal, man. Purchasing the developer that makes R Factor 2, they've confirmed that they are not breaking that team up. They're keeping them together as a unit. Another big decision, right? I pay attention to those little details because it tells you a lot about a lot of things, right? For instance, I wouldn't have been happy hearing that they purchased them and then they said, okay, now we're just going to break the team up and split every one and put these two guys working on this, or and these two guys over here. The value of purchasing a developer like Studio 397 is that how they work together as a unit. The last thing you want to do is ruin that by just parsing out all the personnel and keep those guys together. They've been working together for years. uh they've been producing some of the best simulation racing that there is. From all the research I've done, people love R Factor and R Factor 2, and the things they praise about those games are the things you that matter most in any racing game: tire model, physics, uh, the AI, and force feedback. All of that stuff is central to the gameplay, and the gameplay mechanics are the main part of any game, even in NASCAR game or any sports title, right? That's where you spend most of your time. That's the whole point of the game, is the racing. So they want that to feel as authentic as possible, and they've reiterated that throughout the interview they had, that I talked about in my previous video. I love what I'm hearing, and they really seem to be serious about what they're doing. So again, there's a lot we don't know, and as that news comes out, I'll talk about it. And if I hear something negative, I will talk about it. But I really don't see anything negative at the moment. And I don't want to fucking just attack guys for no reason. I try my best to be fair. And if somebody does something that I don't think is right, I'll criticize them. You guys know that. But if they're doing things that I approve, I have to give them credit. And the moves they've made are not, these aren't small moves. This is a big deal, especially for us. This, just the scanning stuff, it means something. This isn't just to plaster some face, a 2D image and then have text, at least I hope not. That would be shocking. But this to me is to use as animation in part of the game. So I don't know. It could be interactions with them, pre-race or post-race cutscenes, whatever it is. It's a positive. And what I don't want to see, okay? I'm going to show you what I don't want to see. All right, hold on. Bear with me, guys. All right. Give me a second. I'm blind. Hold on. Daniel Suarez. What the fuck am I looking for? Okay, NASCAR heat sunglasses. All right. I'm gonna show you what I don't want to see. Oh man, where is it? Making me look bad. Okay, over here. All right. This is what I don't want to see. I fucking hate this. All right. This is what counted as presentation in the Heat games. I don't want to see live action cutscenes of drivers talking to me. It's awkward, and this is not animated like the rest of the game. It just breaks the immersion. It's cringeworthy, and this highlights everything that I hate about this.
Look, I don't know what's going on with you, but your awful driving is starting to annoy everyone. You better figure it out or someone is going to pull you in the wall.
Now, that's awkward, okay? I don't want to see this ever again. Also, take a look at the sunglasses. I can't believe they let this go in the game. As you can see here, the reflections on his sunglasses, you could see somebody holding up a card for him to read. So he's just reading off of a card. And this was actually released in the game this way. It's hilarious, but in a bad way. I don't want to see this ever again. I don't ever want to see this again. And I hope this is a thing of the past. And from what I see with motorsport games, I don't think that's the case. I think they really are doing things like a AAA developer should be doing it. And I am excited. And I think it's okay to get a little bit excited. Another thing is, I've talked about this, and I actually did a video earlier this year because you guys know I don't care about esports and I'm real negative on it. But in I try to be fair, and I did a video looking at the esports thing from the opposite angle, and just I found this silver lining. And the main point of that video, and some of you might have seen it, I'm sure, maybe some of you didn't. But my main point was that the one silver lining that I do see with the focus on esports by this company, and make no mistake about it, that's their number one focus. And for better or for worse, that's not gonna change. This company is based on esports. That's their thing. So everything they do is centered around esports. It is what it is. There's no point in getting, you know, negative about it at this point. it is what it is. So I, as a silver lining, I think the best thing that could come out of it is if they really want people to gravitate to esports, they're going to have to produce a much higher quality product. The Heat franchise is a joke for esports or online racing in general. Um, there's only a handful of people that take that seriously. You need a much better product to showcase esports. If that's your goal, that means that the rest of us are going to get a better product because of that focus. And I do think that's a legitimate silver lining. So I still don't care about esports, but the result of that focus is going to bring things that I do care about, namely the physics. Okay, you got to have much better physics if you want people to take it more serious. Uh, the game's got to look better. It's got to run better. And purchasing Studio 397 is going to go a long way to making sure that we get something that is closer to sim. It's not going to be a simulator, but Motorsport Games keeps reiterating that they want people to take this game a little bit more serious and the racing to be more authentic and feel more authentic. That's not a bad thing. That's a good thing. And it benefits everyone. So, another aspect of, like I said before, with that developer is that the their AI is highly praised. So, it's not just about online. So, that's all good stuff. Those decisions are solid, great decisions. Actually, I approve. So, only the limited information that we have, I have to give these guys some I don't want to say the word praise, but I have a positive outlook on the decisions they're making so far. There's a lot we don't know. We have no idea what this career mode's going to be like. Um, but realistically, it being it's going to be the first game. I know we're not going to get all the things we've ever wanted. That's just a reality. But I do want to see a game that doesn't feel bare bones or that it doesn't feel like they left out major features. There are certain things that are inexcusable that you have to have in the game. You can't release a game with no stats. I truly hope that's a thing in the past. I know we've had stats for the past 2 years, but look how fucking long it took just to get statistics in a fucking sports title. You cannot uh, do stuff like that anymore. You can't do stuff like this. I don't want to see any of this shit. In all fairness, it really looks like these guys they're putting their money where their mouth is. And when I spoke to Steve Hood, the president, he assured me that there was money that was going to be uh, poured into this thing. And true to his word, from what we've seen, these guys are not fucking around. They're spending money. Okay. And I do believe I read that they spent $16 million just to acquire a Studio 397. And I do think that's going to pay big dividends down the road. Which brings me to this first game. How much input is this studio going to have with this first game? I don't think they're going to have a big you're not going to see their fingerprints all over the place because this game's already 2 years in, but it's not impossible that they're already going to be in there in the late stages tweaking the physics, the tire model, the AI. There is things they can do. They can come in, even though the project is well in development, they can still have input. Okay. So, but I do think that the first game is not going to be representative of the input they're going to have going down the line. That doesn't mean the game isn't already going to be impressive in some way, because these guys, judging from all the moves they've made, just seems like they're really taking this seriously. That's all we can ask for at the moment. And I do think it's okay to be a little bit excited. Okay? And I am excited. I can't help myself. I like these moves they're making, and it just shows promise. Again, if I hear anything negative, I'll talk about that as well. But I'm not gonna just piss all over something when there's nothing to get uh, criticized at the moment. All we know is what we know, and that's all I'm really focused on at the moment. Uh, what was the other thing I wanted to mention? Oh, concerning Studio 397. Here's another thing that excites me. These guys have their own physics engine. Now, I've done a little bit of research. I am no expert on game engines, and knowing that the Unreal game engine, it does have its own physics in the engine, its own physics model, I should say. But you can use external tools in conjunction with what the game engine itself has. So, from what I understand, they are going to be able to use their own physics engine in projects using the Unreal game engine. So there are things that are interchangeable. Some things are compatible. Some things may not be. In either case, uh, these guys know what they're doing. They, from what I see, people really praise the R Factor series. I don't know much about it. Um, I'm sure there are negative aspects to it. The one negative I found was people really say the user interface is horrible, but that's fine. They're not going to be the guys working on the game top to bottom. I really think they're going to be the guys that sort of come in as specialists, okay? There's going to be a lot of other people working on these games. So things like the user interface and all that stuff, they probably won't be involved in that. I think they're focused on physics, tire model, AI, and force feedback, that kind of stuff. The real gameplay mechanics. Um, that's going to be their focus. So let's just say you're a general contractor, right? And that's motorsport games in general, and you're building a house. So you're building the foundation, and then the framework of the house, the skeleton that the wood frame, that's your Unreal Engine, right? I hope I'm not doing a fucked up job explaining it, but that's the basis of everything that you're building on. But then Studio 397, those are the plumbing and electrical contractors, right? So you have your general contractor that oversees the everything, and they, you know once you have the foundation and the framework of the house up and the walls are being put up, now you need the subcontractors, the guys that specialize in things like the electrical, the plumbing, uh, you know, whatever else, the HVAC. You need subcontractors for that who only specialize in that, and they're gonna come in and make that house into a home that's livable, right? You need plumbing, you need electrical, all that stuff has to be run throughout the house. So that's how I look at it, right? So Motorsports Games is the general contractor, the Unreal Game Engine. Uh, that's what you're building everything on, and there's certain aspects within there that if you want to simply use the Unreal Game Engine, you could, but you get better results with having specialists come in with their own tools, specialized tools, and polish everything and get everything even better. So, Studio 397, I think they're going to be the guys that are jumping throughout all their projects, and they're still going to be working on the R Factor series. as well. But they will have a hand, I think, in the gameplay mechanics, the racing mechanics, physics, tire model, AI, and force feedback, that kind of stuff. They're going to be jumping into all of Motorsport Games projects and not solely handling that stuff, but having a big role in it. That's what I'm guessing. This is just speculation on my part, but that's how I look at it. I hope I didn't butcher the explanation of what I think is, how everything's going to run and work, but that's the best I can do at the moment. But that's pretty much all we know at the moment. I'm really excited to see simple things like the scanning, the face scanning, and all that stuff. This is AAA title developer stuff, right? I don't think we're gonna see the type of low budget shortcuts we've seen in past games. I'm not predicting that this is gonna be the greatest game of ever. I'm sure there's gonna be things to criticize, but right now, just looking at how they're handling things, I'm excited. I like what they're doing. I mean, how can you not? Uh, if you was to tell me we can go out and purchase a developer to help us with these games, who would you pick? And I did research. I know a lot of people, you'll hear people, oh, we want Codemasters or EA or something. Believe me, this is the best choice they could have made because, these guys, they are simulation guys. They know what they're doing, and the things that matter most in a race title, that's what they're praised for. So, this is the best possible studio they could have purchased, and they did it. So, these guys aren't fucking around from what I see. I like what I see, and I really can't wait for them to reveal more information about the game. And hopefully, we hear things about offline stuff, content, and the actual career mode. So, one more thing, we're not going to get a fucking paint booth. I'm not sure when, if ever, we'll get one. I don't think definitely not for the first game. But I've never said that was a must. Like, as long as they provide enough customization, and that was my big problem with 704. I even said it there. You don't have to give us a paint booth. Give us more templates, more options, every more choices to customize the car and make it even more individualized for everybody. If you give people enough options, you can get away with not having a full blown paint booth. So as long as we get enough customization where you can make the cars your own, I would be satisfied with that, especially with the first game. But you got to have the basics. And that's pretty much it for now. I hope we get more information. If and when we do, I'll talk about it. Let me know what you guys think about what I've been saying. I look forward to your comments. Later.